Hello and welcome to Fire in the Belly. Today we have myself, Mighty Pete, and we're joined by Arezzini. Good morning, or yes, good morning with you. How are you?
Good, and you?
Awesome. Listen, thanks for coming on. It's always great. I appreciate you sort of starting your day with us here. So thank you for that. So Adi, tell us, who are you? What do you do? And where are you from?
Well, I am here in Tampa, Florida, and I am the co-founder and CEO of Teeny Blends, which is a lifestyle brand that creates wellness and skincare products inspired by the health benefits of tea. That's what I do.
So why tea?
Well, you would think that I must have, been very much against coffee or something in order to start a company that has a lot to do with tea. It's even in the name of the brand. But actually, the way that I found the holistic benefits of tea was through my digestive issues and my stomach problems that I started really suffering from when I was in the military. And when I was in the military, the food that you eat in the military, it's made for the masses. It's not organic, it's not fresh, it's not made for a family sit down dinner. It's just made, okay, let's feed 3,000 people and let's get them all the food. So my body just did not react well to the food over long periods of time. And my digestion got so bad that I was going to the bathroom one time per week, which is really unhealthy. But you'd be surprised how many people go through that. You'd be surprised. And I was trying all sorts of things to solve it, to change my diet, drink more water, eat more fiber, exercise more. I was really attempting in any way to solve this. And I really couldn't find the root cause of the problem. When I got out of the military, that's when I started reading books and looking for holistic remedies. And that's what led me to tea and specific tea ingredients to use for my body.
Give us a bit of a timeline here. How long are you out of the military, and how long has this been going on for?
It was in 2012 when I got out of the military, and it was in 2013 when we started the business. So it was about a year after my military service that I started kind of looking for holistic solutions. I started reading a bunch of books about what is it that could cause constipation, IBS, all of these problems in the gut and the colon, and what are the built up waste in the body that the body is not getting rid of, and how does that affect everything else. And long story short, I went to my local supermarket, bought all the teas that said, cleanse and detox on them, and none of them worked for me, which was then very surprising because I had read all these books that said that these ingredients can have a positive effect on the gut and on the colon. And that's when I came to the conclusion it must be a quality issue, the quality of the product. And my business partner and I got together, and in 2014 in April, that's when we had our first sale, our first, month of sales of the business.
Wow. So this has been, an issue you had, and really there was a frustration and a lack of availability. So from that, the solution's been wrapped around that, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I was really suffering from this problem, and I was shocked how many other people had stomach issues, whether they knew it or not. Sometimes men have lots of stomach issues, but they don't really know that they have stomach issues. Like my husband does our detox program and loves it now, And so it didn't come from a place of like, oh, tea, and tea is better than coffee for you. Obviously, I drink more tea now than I do coffee, but at the time, I was addicted to coffee. Coffee was the only way I was able to go to the bathroom and stimulate my digestive system. So it became an addiction for me. And that's where we started looking for better solutions for the inside of the body.
That's interesting. So you were kind of using coffee like a laxative, right? So it's not,
Right.
it's sort of an external assist for an internal problem.
Exactly.
Wow. And that must be quite common, right? I mean, I don't know.
Absolutely. I mean, I don't know how it is in Ireland, but in America, people, have a very specific routine. You drink your morning coffee, and then at 10 a.m. you take your morning poop. Like that's how it goes. And people forget that the body should be able to do that on its own.
What's what is the regularity of someone going for a poo? I mean, what's normal? Is there a normal?
Normal is 2 to 3 times a day.
Wow. Okay.
And obviously, what is the average is probably 1 time per day.
Okay. And then if
And
it's
the statistic in America is that 2 out of 3 Americans have some sort of stomach issue problem with their gut.
well, and to tell us, I mean, what is this? Is this something that's, have you always had this, do you believe? I know obviously it's only more recent you've found out and you've gone through it. I mean, is this stress induced, situational induced, genetic? What's the background to it?
Everybody's different. Like
Mm.
specifically, everybody has a unique buildup of their body. For me, it really turned on between 2010 and 2012 when I was in the military. And I think that it turned on just because of the lack of the specific food that my body likes. I have a very sensitive stomach, so that could also, relate to it. But I wasn't aware that I had this problem before I joined the military.
Wow, okay. And what's your background? Give us a bit more about you, really. Where have you always lived in Florida, and has that always been your base as such?
Well, I was born originally in Israel, and my mom and I moved to Florida when I was 7.
Hmm.
So I have grown up in Florida since I was 7 until today.
Cool. What caused the move? Just new life, new change of scene.
Yeah, I think my mom wanted to raise me in the great country of America, and you know have more opportunities for her and for me and all that. Just get to somewhere bigger, because
Hmm.
Israel is a very small country.
Yeah, it's a real. Yeah, there's quite a shift, right? To sort of go from a small country to quite a big country.
Totally.
So just tell us before we get really into it, I suppose, is what does fire in the belly mean to you?
Well, to me, it means like, what is it that motivates you? What is it that gets you going? What is the purpose behind what you're doing, or what drives you?
And what is that for you then? Do you have it, and what specifically is it for you?
It's changed. I don't know if it changes for others, but the fire in the belly that I had originally for growing my business was different than the one that I have today. So the one that I had before, which is even before I started my business, was really to take care of my mom. That was really the core um, purpose behind everything that I did. Even before I owned a business, anything that I did, the strive to succeed, the desire or the motivation to have a better life, was all around, how do I take care of my mom? Because she raised me as a single mom. And we definitely, I mean, I've been working since I was 9 years old. So we did not come from a family. We were not even middle class. We were the lower class. And it was definitely not, um, it wasn't like a picturesque childhood of a white picket fence and everything normal and all of that. It was like, okay, we need to hustle from a young age to just make everything happen that we need to happen, which taught me a lot about the importance of hard work, the importance of effort, the importance of consistency and persistence, and all of that. And with the army together, I was still always this same driving force, like, how do I take care of my mom? How do I take care of my mom? How do I take care of my mom? And as I started my business, probably around year 4, I was really able to take care of my mom. I was able to take care of her. And so now the fire in the belly has kind of shifted more to like, okay, so I want to, obviously it's combined with the purpose of the business, but that's the honest truth, is that the beginning was always about how do I work and create something that I enjoy that I can also help my mom with.
Well, fair play to you. I mean, what stage is your mum at now?
Well, now I'm able to, take care of her. And she works at the business, which is great. But she doesn't have to worry about necessarily making her mortgage every month, which is, what I wanted to kind of do for her.
Mm, mm. So tell us, I mean, as a young Addie, what were you having to work at? What was your first or early jobs?
It was always nannying, taking care of children. I was great caretaker of children up until I graduated high school, and then I did lots of different things. I worked at a real estate company. I worked at a postcard company, and then I joined the military.
So what military is about 19, is it? 18, 19 type thing?
Yeah, and I was in the military from like 18 to 21.
Brilliant. So what was is just the military, is that something you wanted to do, or was it the right thing at the right time?
Honestly, I was just trying to kind of, I was so tired from working. I had been working since I was 9, and just, I was looking for how do I change things up, because I was like 19 going on 40. That's how I felt. It was I was already burnt out at the age of 19. I was paying rent and paying car and paying insurance and paying my phone bill, and I had a lot of responsibility as a 19-year-old, and going to the military, and you are taken care of by the military to a degree. I felt like that would be a good adventure for me, and a way to connect with my purpose for my country. I did the military in Israel, and it was a great experience. It changed my life.
Well, what particular part of what was it about the military that changed?
Well, just the fact that you are doing something that is has a bigger has a bigger organizational purpose, and it's not just about you as an individual. And I got to learn my language, which I didn't really know before very well. I got to learn the history of my country, which I didn't know very well because I had moved to America at such a young age. And you really understand the everything behind working as a group and working as a team. And unless you have been in some sort of um, group like that, whether it's being a police officer, being in the military, or being in any sort of like hardcore group like that, you don't know what it means to really work as a team.
How'd you find that? I mean, some people, do you like big groups and orders and structure, or is that for you or against you?
Now both, because now I would never do it now, in that sense, right?
Hmm.
And if it was for me, I would probably have made a career out of it, right? I probably would have stayed in the military my whole life. But at the time, it was for me because I was such an individual. All I was thinking about was me and my own problems and my own life, that at the time I needed something that was structured and organizational to make me see things differently.
Hmm.
Because if I had not done that, I would have never had any appreciation for groups, and only an appreciation for the individual. And there's power in the individual, but there's also power in groups.
I mean, are you a natural born leader, or where would you normally sit in a group structure?
I think I would always be the one giving the orders and not taking the orders. That's why the military was really difficult for me, because I wasn't an executive or an officer. I was a regular soldier. So it taught me to like receive orders too, which is something I needed to work on.
Hmm. Well, especially, I mean, if you were sort of working at such a young age and a lot going on, it's to suddenly be, yeah, to take on the orders as opposed to, fighting for yourself. It's a different bit of a change of scene, right?
That's right. And it's super important, I think, to switch it up, because if you're used to one thing your whole life, whether you're a leader or you give orders or you take orders, you got to work on those other skill sets of how to receive, how to be on the other end of things.
Wow. So tell us, what was young Addie going to do when she grew up? What was the original plan?
You know, uh, honestly, it was a continuous, what can I do to make money to take care of my mom?
Hmm.
There was no like uh, dream or goal in particular. It was like, I need to be successful. How do I do that? Like, what opportunity is there? And the fact that I came across this problem that I had and created a business out of it was, you know, it's where I saw the opportunity and where fate kind of stepped in and gave me this situation where I was like, okay, I'm going to go full throttle on this. But before then, I mean, I felt successful as a nanny. I was like, wow, I'm making all this money and I'm 15 years old or I'm 16 years old. And I felt successful in the military too. I was great at my job, and young Adi was always just wanting to pull herself out of the situation that she was in. Just how do you go from a lower class to a middle class to an upper class as far as being able to take care of yourself and your family in a better way. So that was
Hmm.
always the driving motivation. I had no idea how I would do that. I knew I wasn't going to go to college. I never took my SATs or any tests to go to college because I knew I wasn't going to do that. I knew that I wanted to get out there and start working, like immediately start working. And that's what I did.
I mean, did you have anyone that sort of you you saw doing this, or any sort of, not heroes per se, but just examples of someone that had gone through a similar process as you?
No, I don't think that there was anybody in my immediate surroundings that I looked at and I was like, I want to be like them. They pulled themselves out of that situation. I didn't see, and that's why it was extremely difficult because as a kid or as a young adult, you don't know the path. How do I get there? What steps do I need to take? Usually it's like go to college, get a job. That's the path. And I didn't know what the path was going to be. That's why I didn't know if it was going to be. I mean, when I got out of the military, I was a personal trainer. So I was thinking that that's how I would make my money, is being doing fitness. And that was the direction I was taking for about a year and a half before I started my business. And even when I started my business, I was just still doing personal training and fitness, being a fitness instructor for 2 years into the business. I was still doing that in combination with the business.
Oh, well, I mean, I'm struck as well. I mean, obviously you're quite used to, it seems, by exercise, fitness, and obviously the military is fairly strong in that too. I mean, have you always just been active and outgoing?
I think I've always been like a tomboy, and I've always I like to say that in school in high school I was average at all sports. I was not necessarily good at any sport like basketball or soccer, but I enjoyed to be on the field and to play. But I was pretty much out. I just did everything, but I wasn't necessarily specifically good at any one sport. But I really loved to get out there and move the body. But when I joined the military, I mean, that they run you on specific tests and times, and I couldn't run. And the test is a 5 kilometer run, as with other things, which is around 3.1 miles. And I couldn't get through the thing without stopping multiple times and having a side cramp. So I definitely wasn't in the best shape of my life when I joined the military. Only through the 4 month boot camp that they put you through did I really start to become fit.
Mm. Fair play. Have you siblings at all, brothers, sisters, or did you all?
I have one older brother.
Brilliant. And did you all come to America together, or was it separate?
Yeah, we came together.
Cool. I like it. So, you older, younger? Where do you sit in the pecking order?
I'm the baby.
The baby of the group. Love it. Love it. So tell me, I mean, as a young Addy, what were we looking at? I mean, what sort of a child were you?
I think a little bit of a bossy child. Always kind of wanted things her way. got probably drove my mom a little nuts. But I was very independent, always kind of just did my own thing.
Were you running into school or running out of school?
Into school.
Oh wow.
I loved tests. I loved um, completing things. I loved learning. I loved going to school because I loved getting good grades. I loved the feedback that I was doing a good job or getting a gold star, acing my test. I loved getting that positive feedback.
Mm. And what were your go-to subjects in school then?
I loved literature, like reading. I loved um I loved reading, anything to do with the English language. And I think I loved math.
Math. Okay. It's
Hmm.
quite a strange. You normally get sort of mostly literature side, or you get logical side. So I normally put math on the other side. So it's quite a spectrum you
Oh,
have
I
then. That's
loved
good.
it. Yeah, I loved math, but I wasn't necessarily, I mean, I loved all school, to be honest. I know it's kind of a strange answer, but I love being in school. Um, I always thought that I was learning something, and it was a good group environment. So it was a good experience for me.
That's great. I love it. Then it's, yeah, as you say, you have that structure and everything's going on there. So take us on through then. So you have your 3 years in the military. Were you traveling, or were you mostly sort of home based?
I was home based. We were, in one base most of the entire time. And my job was as a combat fitness instructor to train the soldiers, which were in the artillery unit, to hit certain marks on their fitness tests for the 4 months that they were with us in their boot camp.
That's kind of, there's a slight irony there, right? Yourself, you're doing your 5K and your side cramps, and you then take the fitness role, right? It's great. It goes to show how much you can stretch and learn.
Right. I mean, I had to get over myself and improve my own fitness so that I could be posted at this job.
Brilliant. So, out of the military, PTing, you're saying PTing and fitness instructing was the main order of the day at the time?
You get out of the army and you don't know what you want to do with your life. I moved in with my mom. I studied to be a personal trainer, which is about a 3-month course. And then you take the exam, pass the exam, and then started working at lots of places in my immediate area. Personal training. I was also a cycling instructor, a boot camp instructor, just did anything I could to make money. And I really loved the fact that I could create my own schedule at the time, which obviously as an entrepreneur now, I mean, I work more hours than I would care to admit. But, you know, that's what I loved. I loved that I could work from 5 a.m. to 8 in the morning, and then I would have a couple hours off, and then I would have another kind of stretch period of like 5 hours of work. It was a very interesting time, and it was you know allowed me to have the entrepreneur spirit even with my personal training business.
Yeah, I mean, it's so funny with entrepreneurs, isn't it? That you go from, you quit a 9 to 5 job so you can then go and do 5 to 9. It's like,
Yeah,
it's like,
totally.
but I've got so much freedom and all the other stuff. But yeah, you're working harder than ever. But it's different.
Absolutely.
It's different when you want to do it yourself, right? It's what you want. It gives you the freedom. It gives you capacity and options.
Definitely.
So you've gone through this process. There's the really sort of, I mean, what would you describe it? Digestive issues, bowel issues? How did you sort of coin it, or was it all just general digestion
Yeah, I mean,
problems?
digestion problems is how I would say it.
And were you? I mean, I take it you were sort of fairly obviously active. So this is not like from lack of movement, lack of exercise, or lack of water or whatever. I mean, this it's sort of slightly ironic, right? That you are active, but yet you still have these problems or had these problems.
Right, that was what was very upsetting. I was young, I was supposedly healthy, I exercised, I ate good food. So how could it be that I have such stomach troubles? Like I looked like I was 5 months pregnant at all times, and I couldn't wear any tight clothing. I just had to wear baggy clothing, and I felt very uncomfortable in my own body. I did not feel confident in how I looked, and that definitely uh, took a hit for my confidence too because I didn't feel good.
Wow, that's quite something. I mean, and is that, sort of even that sort of, is that bloating, or is that, what is that, you're saying about looking 5 months pregnant?
Yeah, you could call it like very severe bloating, and which
Mm.
comes from not going to the bathroom enough.
Hmm. And I take it it's, when it's that long between bathroom breaks that the body's essentially going to start poisoning itself eventually, is it? I mean, to hold on to that waste product.
Yeah, I mean, there's so much research behind it, but everybody's body will react differently to it. But in the overall sense, if you if the purpose of the digestive system is to take in the nutrients that it needs and put it into the bloodstream and take out the waste that it doesn't need and get rid of it, if your body isn't doing that second part of getting rid of it, then it's your body's holding on to it, but it doesn't need it. Like it's
Hmm.
supposed to be gone, but your body's holding on to it, which provides no value to the body.
Hmm. Gosh, it's quite something. So take us in then. So really, is that the point? So I mean, you talked about the fitness and the training, and is at that point then? So the you were saying you were reading more, and that's when the tea sort of topic started coming into the play.
Yeah, I started reading all these books, a lot of them holistic medicine, a lot of chiropractic books that were talking about digestive and gut health and stomach problems, and waste problems. And they were all recommending, natural ways to detox, were to use these tea ingredients. And that's when I started testing them out and saw that they didn't really work for me. And that's when I started seeking out higher quality uh, ingredients and started blending them myself.
Are you clear why they didn't work for you, or is it just? I mean, is everyone just completely different? So it depends.
It could be because everyone's completely different, but when you go to the supermarket, you'll see that these teas are about $5. So they're not very expensive. And their powder form, which means that the they are the leftovers of the actual tea leaf itself. Because the tea leaf you can see, right? You can see a physical leaf. And they become less effective when you're not getting the full tea leaf. And that loose leaf tea is very known, but a lot of regular people don't drink loose leaf tea. They drink the tea bags. And so that's the first kind of awareness level that I had of, okay, these tea bags don't work. I need to get something to be more authentic, more real, to get better benefits. And that's when I met my business partner, who has been making tea products and coffee products, and specialized in it for over 5 years. So that's when we got to formulating our our detox product.
Wow. So that tea and that sort of moving into that. So do you see that as a it is a detox product, or it's an ongoing, or something you would just replace normal tea drinking or coffee drinking with this product?
We have definitely teas that replace coffee for sure. But this product that we came out with, the 30-day detox program, is specifically to do for 30 days and then see how you feel at the end. And if you need to do it again, you can do it again. It's totally a personal choice. But it's a program that you do in order to really help your digestion.
Why 30 days? Is that a pattern break, or what is it?
Yeah, that's when we see that enough of the digestion has been controlled or has been really targeted and helped. There's not You're not really going to see results by doing something for a day or 2 days or 3 days. You really need to do really anything consistently for 30 days or longer to see results. Really anything that you want to do: fitness, diet, um, it is going to take more than 30 days to start to see the results.
Well, fair play. So, I mean, did you go in straight away in terms of, building the brand and the Teamy blend? So that's when that was born, right? All at the same time.
Yep, exactly. And we created the brand, and the business was from my bedroom. I lived at my mom's house, and that's how we got started.
So why talk to us about the name? Where did that come from?
We wanted to incorporate tea, but we didn't want it to be something, there's a lot of like play on words like honest tea or purity. And we didn't want it to be something that we thought that was lame and old school like that. We wanted more of a short, iconic name. And somehow we were just throwing names around. I threw the name Teamy. My business partner loved it. And we wanted a name that could also expand horizontally. Because if you named something, honest tea, for example, you might never be able to expand into other topics. And we didn't want to, we're not a tea company. We have solution-based products that are created from tea, but we're not like a Tiavana or a Tazo tea, or we're not a tea drinking company. So we wanted to make sure that our name was broad and general enough to allow us to change the products that we offered. So if you look on our website, we have wellness products, we have skincare products that are made from tea, we have protein powders that have tea in them. So we were able to create a lifestyle brand that really helps 360 degrees the areas of the customer. They first of all, they might come to us because they have digestive issues, but afterwards they might want to take care of their skin, and they might want to do that with a natural product. So coming up with a name that was broad enough to allow us to expand into what we are today is something that was really important to us in the beginning.
That's great because I was struck by the variety of stuff you do, and as you say, it's not just tea. There's your proteins, your shakes, your skin cleansers. You have all sorts there, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Wow, I love the range. It's so yeah. I mean, it's so active, or so. It's great that people can actually get involved. So that was you're in Timmy's set up then 7 years, is it 7 years, 8 years?
7 years.
Wow.
Yeah, six and a half, 7 years.
So you started in your bedroom. First sale, you're saying April was April 14?
That's right.
Wow. How was that?
I know. It was very exciting. Doing everything from the start up has been a journey, a total journey. And it has, seeing it change has been quite wonderful.
And from the business perspective, is that something I mean, did you have business knowledge and how to do it, or was that something you had to sort of learn at the same time as well?
I'm still learning. This is my first real business. I started it when I was 23 years old. I'm about to turn 30. So no business experience. My business partner did have business experience before me, but I think both him and I are very strong in our street smarts, and we're both strong hustlers and look for solutions when problems come up. So it's kind of like you learn as you go. You don't know, you can't know about business unless you experience it. So the best thing to do is to just start experiencing it.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, it's initiation by fire, isn't it? It's like you'll soon learn if you have to learn. That's one way of
Totally.
doing it. So from that, I mean, you really just grew. I mean, were you able to take on existing products, or were you having to actually, sort of evolve your own products at the same time?
Um, we created all of our own products. So as we go, we create another one, we create another one, we create another one, as needed. At first we started creating more tea products, then we started making accessories like our tumbler bottles, the bottles that allow you to drink your tea on the go. And then years later, in year 3, that's when we started making skincare products, just because we asked our audience, we asked our customers what it is that they wanted, and they said that they wanted skincare. So that is what we started creating.
I love that. So you've really evolved, the bottles, the whole thing. So are you creative by nature? Is that your background, or are you problem solving?
I think that they go together. I mean, I would say that my business partner is the more creative one because he's a graphic designer. So I don't do any type of art necessarily, but uh, I can observe and I can see what colors go together and what the website needs to look like, and what is aesthetic and what is not aesthetic. My business partner is definitely the more creative one out of the two, but we're both very strong in both areas of the business. I'm more around marketing and sales, and he's more around the creative and the website and the back end.
It's always great to have that mix, isn't it? Between the two, that you can lean back on people who have the structure side and the creativity side. Do you like
Totally.
branding? Because you obviously your brand is great and it's lovely, and it's lovely, and I suppose clean is probably the best way to describe it. So
Yes, that we did that on purpose. That's definitely what we wanted to go for.
yeah, just thinking out loud. I mean, in terms of physical treatments, I suppose whether you do, um, I don't know, through whether it's because fitness obviously you've talked about. I mean, it's not the fitness side; it's more internal gut health. The likes of what do you call them? Colon flushing. Um,
Hmm.
the likes of any of that. I mean, I kind of get the feeling that's probably, would that be a bit of a no-no in terms of being useful? I mean, drinking the tea and letting the body do it naturally, I'm assuming is the preferable way here.
Right, exactly. Again, our product is not for everybody.
Hmm.
It's for people that want to try to do something naturally and to, um, improve their gut health and improve their digestion. And a lot of people that have these problems, they don't like that they have these problems, so they'll try things. And if we can offer them a natural approach that they can do in their house and don't have to go anywhere, that's what we want to accomplish.
Hmm. That makes sense. So where are you going to then? What's the plan? Global domination, or
Yes, teamy takeover.
do you I mean, because I think you're available globally, right?
Yeah, and the business is to grow the brand year over year, and to continue to add good products that provide value to the customers. If the product is good, then you'll have a really high return customer rate, which is what we have. So after somebody tries one of our products, they'll either go back and reorder that same product again, or they will try out one of our other products because they trust us now because they had a good experience the first time. And so we really focus on creating really high quality products that someone will fall in love with and want to repurchase and not go on to another brand. And the name of the game is to continue to expand the business and continue to help people with our product.
Do you have a company mission or a mantra or a vision that you work to?
Well, our slogan is it's not just tea, it's a lifestyle.
Mhm.
But our real mission is to help people live happier, healthier lives through the health benefits of natural tea products. So, it's not just about taking care of your gut health, it's also taking about what you put on your skin and in your smoothies that you're drinking in the morning, and really just living a happy, healthy lifestyle overall is really, really important to us. I mean, the customers that come to us, sometimes they're just starting their wellness journey. They don't know what to do. So supporting them in, hey, take this product first and then this product. And we provide a lot of free recipes on our website, a lot of healthy blogs, a lot of resources. We have free ebooks that help people do a 5-day water challenge. That has nothing to do with our product. Water is free. So we want to just help people get out there and move their body, eat healthier, and just live a healthier, happier lifestyle overall.
I mean, when you went through this process yourself, I mean, how quick was the change once you actually started taking the tea? How quickly did your own personal sort of issues clear up?
About 10 days in is when I started to see really big shifts in my digestion. But it was really the full 30 days that it took to get the real benefits, sustainable results. But within the first 10 days, I started to feel massively different. I started to feel lighter. My gut health felt transformed. I was refreshed in the morning, light, didn't feel heavy and sluggish and exhausted all the time.
I was going to say, and 'cause that's what are the sort of typical side effects? Whilst you may or may not be aware of your gut effect, I mean, what other knock-ons does it tend to have?
Oh, what?
So other side effects. I mean, you mentioned there about feeling sluggish and things like that. I mean, so I think there's knock-on, not just feeling bloated or feeling sort of digestion problems, but I assume that does sort of knock on to the other effects in your life.
Everybody's different. Some people can, it can create hormonal issues. Some people can create acne. Some people can create, um, you know, energy issues. Some people can create mood issues. It is so personal. There is no one person that is the same on this planet. So it reacts, the issues react differently for people. Someone could use the product because they just had a baby and they are looking to get back to feeling amazing. Some people have bloating issues, so it really is a personal. Each person does the detox at their own stage in life.
Hmm. Did you have any unexpected benefits yourself, from doing this, or were you? I think you obviously just immersed yourself into the process and you took it on.
Yeah, I think aside from the improved digestion was clear skin. That's what I saw for myself. Brighter, clearer skin, less acne, because obviously acne and skin problems are a mirroring of what's going on inside your body.
Well, okay, right, that makes sense. So you're seeing all the side benefits as well as that, and from that you can actually you can see it. And is that why the skin cleansers came about as well? That the two would go hand in hand almost.
They didn't come about that way. I think people do use them in that way, but they came about just because we asked our customers, what is it that you want next from Teeny? And they said, we want skincare that we can trust and that works and that's natural. And I was like, okay, I have never made skincare before, but I will make it for you. And got to work.
What's the sort of the turnaround on a product then, from scratching your head going that would be a good idea to sort of product release? Is it quicker? How long does it take normally?
About a year.
Well,
Yeah, even today, it takes me 6 months at least to make a new skincare product. Takes a
well,
long time.
that's quite a lot. And is it a busy market? I don't know.
The skincare?
Yeah, skin. Well, first of all, the tea market is the tea. Is that a busy market itself?
I think that it is, but we're not really in the tea market. We're in the, wellness, gut health market, and then the skincare industry is huge. All of these industries around product-based businesses are highly competitive and massive.
Hmm. Real change. Well, wait. So the company's really just been growing for you year on year, really. And you're based entirely out of Florida, are you? Do you tend to expand out to different networks?
Where our home base is in Florida. We have a couple employees in other areas, but our headquarters is here in Florida.
Hmm. And do you see yourself? I mean, how does that grow globally? I mean, I suppose nowadays, as long as you've got a website and you've got a functioning distribution system, it doesn't really matter where you are, does it?
No, it really doesn't. You just have to continue to get the word out about your product and promote who you are and expose people to your mission.
And in terms of forward vision, I mean, where do you hope to go with it?
I would really love to be a brand name that people know, that you can say Teamy Blends or you could say Teamy, and someone immediately knows who we're talking about. And I feel like there's a lot of companies that are there for experts, like wellness and nutrition companies that are really grown around athletes and around nutritionists and vegans, but we really want to be the natural healthy solution for the everyday person, the everyday woman that is just starting her wellness routine and feels maybe a little bit overwhelmed by everything that she needs to do. She needs to exercise or she needs to start eating healthier, and it's all a little overwhelming. And we want to be a clean, simple solution for her to just say, let me just try this. Let me get started.
It's right enough. And I suppose nowadays, especially with lockdown and one thing and another, it's eating healthily, keeping fit, managing kids, family life, dogs, everything together. It's not easy. So I mean, tea, coffee, whatever it is, if this can be a supplement and changing a bit of, I suppose, changing a routine, right?
Right. Exactly.
You can bring that out. So do you see it as I mean, is it a complete beverage replacement? Is that the plan?
No, it's not a replacement really for anything. You can use it however you want. When you're doing the detox program, you're still eating regularly. Obviously, you're going to get better results as you eat a healthier diet. But we have protein powders, and we have green superfood powders, and we have collagen, and we have a glass portable blender. So we're not trying to um, really replace anything for anyone. We're just giving solutions. Like, you can have a super healthy smoothie packed in the morning, and it can have protein, and it can have 16 superfood green ingredients, and it can have all of these things in it that can help you feel better.
Oh wow. And where does it sit in terms of, does it? I mean, whether it be the vegan, vegetarian side or organic side. I mean, is there any of those markets you tend to cover as well?
We try to tend to communicate to all markets, but the person that we're really trying to help is the everyday woman who is looking to get started on her wellness routine. It doesn't
Hmm.
mean that we exclude vegans or that we exclude other markets, but we're looking for the girl that's just getting started.
And I notice that is it specifically females, or is that where you're seeing the most benefits, or what's the
It's just we
reasoning
see
there?
that women are the most attracted to our brand.
Hmm.
It might be because of the branding and the design, but of course we help women and men.
Hmm. Hmm. No, that's cool. So it's on and up, bigger, better, greater things for you guys. And
Yes.
do you see yourself breaking into additional markets, or is that just a continuous ongoing development process?
We would love to break into different markets. I mean, we have distributors all over the world. We have distributors in the Middle East. We have distributors in Asia. We have distributors in the UK and the Philippines. So we always want to grow that area as well.
Hmm. And so you talked about being a real lover of reading. How has entrepreneurship helped your reading career?
I read as many books as I can, as many business books as I can, listen to podcasts, and learn from other people's lessons so that I might apply them in my own business.
Hmm. I take it you're not going to be moving back to Israel anytime soon.
No, I love America, so I love living here.
Well, obviously the Florida lifestyle suits you well. I mean, is it similar in climates? It's maybe not as hot, is it, in Israel? I'm trying to think.
I think Florida's hotter than Israel.
Oh,
Yeah, in the
do you get
summer
to
especially.
do you go back at all to Israel? Do you travel back, or do you mainly stay in America?
Well, before COVID, yeah, definitely. Maybe every 2 years I'll go back, usually for a wedding or something like that, an excuse to go visit home.
No, that's cool. That's cool. So then, really moving on, I suppose. I mean, what core values do you choose in terms of for yourself and for the business? Then, what sort of set of rules do you work by?
I think we work on honesty of our products, the integrity of the ingredients that we use in our products, and really caring about the customer. That's always been the number one aspect. So we call it best friend customer service. So we have to treat the customer, like our best friend. We don't just give them robotic responses. We have real humans that do all of our customer service. We don't have any type of outsourced customer service that's not in America. And we make sure that every single customer is really helped all the way and taken care of as if they were our best friend and not just trying to handle them and get them off. So really taking care of the customer and really helping them all the way through is very important to us.
Mm. Wow. In terms, I mean, you mentioned there sort of reading a lot of business books and things like that, or and learning. What's your go-tos on that side?
Um, I loved this book I read a couple of years ago, which is called From Good to Great. That was one of the biggest changes, that the biggest books that changed my viewpoint on things. And I highly recommend it to, not only business owners, but also executives and managers. It gives you a really wide perspective of things.
Wow, who wrote that? I've never heard of it.
I believe it's Peter Collins.
Brilliant. And what was the? Well, I take it from going that extra mile. Is it? What does take you from good to great?
Think you're gonna have to read the book. There's a lot of information in the book, but I don't think that I could cover it for you like this.
No, that's cool. Ever any ambitions to head the book route yourself? And because I mean, you talked about all the recipes and blogs and journals there as well. Is that a creative writing side on something you would like to do?
Maybe if the business got big enough where I could do a project like that, I would take that on. But right now, it's really all about the growth of the business.
Hmm. And what sort of, I mean, do you tend to work on, 1, 3, 5, 10 year business plans? I mean, what do you tend to how do you map out?
I usually work on the following year and the year after, but we're still a fairly young business. 7 years is a very young business,
Hmm.
and so we're still figuring it out. We're by no way complete experts in everything, and there's a lot for us to learn, and that's what we're focusing on right now.
No, that's cool. That's cool. So tell me, if I mean, if we were to describe, if you're fire in the belly in 1 or 2 words, what would that be?
I would say that the motivation to take care of my customer and to take care of my team and my employees is now my number one fire in the belly. Because if I'm able to help my customers with our products, to help them live happier, healthier lives, I'm really making a difference in their lives. And if I have a successful business where employees can work and have a career and reach their own personal career goals, then I'm helping them in that way too. And so I'm really able to create this ecosystem of happy people. And it's all around helping people feel better and use natural products, which is something that I truly, truly believe in. So
Hmm.
doing those three things together, which is helping my customers, helping my employees, and at the root of all of that is natural products, as opposed to chemical-based products or drug-based products, then I'm a happy girl.
Well, what what do you find yourself doing then for leisure or pleasure, or what is your guilty pleasure, let's say?
Probably watching Netflix as my guilty pleasure, just relaxing and doing nothing. But I love exercising, so whenever I can, I just on the weekends, take an hour and a half and do a lot of exercise for myself and take it easy, not be rushed. And I love taking time for myself on the weekends.
Get the books out or get Netflix out and just chill, right?
Right, exactly.
That's the joy of, I mean, entrepreneurial lifestyle. I mean, that's quite a change, I suppose, from the military's, the military background then to the personal training. Well, even the personal training is different. I mean, so personal training, you got to be a lot more flexible, right? And working out of hours and then to entrepreneurship. That's how have you found the transition?
So it moves so fast that I haven't really had time to think about it. I made a decision to join the army, and 6 weeks later, I was in. And then when I got out, I immediately started personal training, and then I immediately started the business like a year or two after. So, not taking a lot of time to let things sink in, just kind of go, 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 and always on to the next thing.
I like that. Yeah, it's as you say, in a young business and all that, you've always got your work cut out for you.
Oh
That's
my
cool.
gosh, it's a lot of work.
You enjoy it though, I take it, yeah.
I do, but it is definitely not for the faint of heart. And the what it takes to succeed and succeed in a big way is not to be taken as a small achievement. because it is not easy to do. I think it sounds easy, but very few make it.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what it's like. I know over here there's a wacky statistic. It's like 90% of businesses don't make it past 90 days. It's like, it's sort of crazy, and then the drop off rate after 12 months, 24 months, and it's horrendous. It's like literally 1 or 2% hit the 5 year mark.
Hmm.
It's sort of crazy, but you've got yourself through all that and you're growing, which is fantastic. So it's a credit to you, really.
Yeah, but it's always going to be, you have to be there and you have to continue to push. So it's not something that, you get to some level and then it pushes itself, you know? It's always a constant, push toward keeping the wheels moving and keeping the business going.
The wheels get bigger, the bills get bigger, the problems get bigger, everything, right? It's just
Totally.
that it's all proportionate. I mean,
Right,
what
exactly.
what advice would you have to yourself, even I suppose 3 years or 5 years or 7 years ago? I mean, what would you be saying to yourself if you could have been whispering in the ear?
I think to tell myself to um, pat myself on the back a little bit more when good things happen, because I don't do that enough. So really, make sure to celebrate the wins more. And as far as when you do have losses, shake them off faster, instead of dwelling on them.
In terms of mindset, do you do much on the mindset side? Would you be active on that as well as your physical fitness?
Definitely. I'm definitely a spiritual person, so I have my own kind of what I do to align myself to be as focused as I can throughout the day.
And are you able to reflect on yourself and call yourself out, or do you need outside assistance for that?
Sometimes I can do it internally, and sometimes I need my business partner to help me. So that's why it's important that you have good friends around you that care about you.
Hmm. As you say, having a business partner that has opposite strengths and skills and weaknesses is always useful, so you can bounce off each other and sort of pull out each other's strengths, right?
Exactly.
Oh, that's cool. So tell us, I mean, where can people learn more, find out more, go and buy some of your products and track you down? Give us a bit of background.
Yeah, they can go to our website, which is www.teamyblends.com. And they can find us on Instagram at Teamy Blends. You can always hit me up on at Adi Arezzini on Instagram. I love getting to know people. So you can really contact us in all those different ways.
Fantastic. Fantastic. Well, listen, thank you so much for coming on. I really appreciate it. And I wish you all the best for the future. I mean, yeah, as always, a pleasure. If you have a closing message or anything you'd like to say, please go ahead.
Well, just, thanks so much for listening. I was happy to share my story. And if you have any questions about business or about our products, really feel free to reach out to me because I'd love to help answer anything for any one of the listeners.
Super. Adi, thank you very much indeed.
You're welcome.